It takes all kinds of people to make an organization work. And with all kinds of people, there are all kinds of issues that can interfere with a truly productive work environment. That's why your employer has enlisted the help of an Employee Assistance Program, or EAP. This program does just what it says. It assists employees and their families with a wide range of services such as counseling, legal advice, financial guidance, and more. For managers, the EAP can be an incredibly valuable tool in dealing with performance issues. However, you are often aware of employees' personal problems before their work performance is affected. You can play a vital role by encouraging these employees to seek help through the EAP. But what about employees who are having personal problems that are affecting their work? Getting involved in employees' personal lives may compromise your ability to be an effective leader. Yet, these personal problems often need to be resolved before the work performance will improve. The EAP can address the underlying issues, allowing you to stay focused on work performance.
A few months ago, one of my most valuable team members, John, started having problems at work. He was missing deadlines, showing up late, and even when he was here, he just wasn't himself. I knew through the grapevine that John was in the middle of a divorce, and I felt bad for him. But he was really causing problems for our department. I didn't know what to do. I met with him. He promised to improve, and nothing changed. I checked with Human Resources, and they suggested I call the EAP.
When you have an employee that is having performance problems, call the EAP. Perhaps there is a change in performance or a problem that persists despite your efforts to address it. This suggests that the employee is in need of assistance. The EAP consultant will help you clarify the situation, determine your goals for the employee, and develop an action plan.
The EAP was great. They helped me to get clear on what I needed to do and what I needed from John. It was a relief to know that I didn't have to figure it out by myself. I wanted to give him the opportunity to improve and get help, but he was the one that was going to have to make the changes. Like the EAP consultant said, John had the most to gain and the most to lose.
My marriage had fallen apart, and I was a mess. Couldn't even concentrate. You know, I was just going through the motions, and I really didn't think it was affecting my work. Okay, so I was late a few times, and I dropped the ball on a couple of projects, but you know, people here know me. They know my good reputation. But besides, I was going through a really tough time.
The plan you develop with the EAP often includes a referral for counseling. While the EAP is confidential, in certain situations, it may be important for you to know that the employee has followed through with your referral. The employee must give written permission for the EAP to release any information to you.
To be honest, I was nervous about confronting John with all this. I mean, everyone has problems sometimes. I knew he was having trouble, and I didn't want to make it worse. Was this really my business? What if he refuses? What if he gets angry? But I knew I couldn't put it off any longer. When I called the EAP, they helped me prepare for the discussion. I even had notes so I wouldn't forget anything. And you know, the meeting turned out really well.
When you meet with the employee to discuss the performance problem, provide specific data such as attendance and other relevant documentation. Stick to the facts and be direct. Set clear expectations, including a definite time frame for improvement. Don't try to act as a counselor or try to diagnose the problem. Remember, an EAP referral is not a form of discipline. However, it may be used in conjunction with your organization's regular disciplinary procedures. An EAP referral is an opportunity for the employee to take control and get personal help to make needed changes. Again, your focus remains on work performance.
When Helen called me into her office, I figured she was going to talk about my performance. But I was kind of surprised at how much I had slipped. It never occurred to me that I could actually lose my job. Helen gave me a brochure about the EAP. She made it clear that it was my choice whether or not to call. But she did tell me that it was important that I got my act together at work. She laid out specific things I had to improve and set a date for our follow-up meeting. At first, I really didn't want to talk to a counselor. I felt like I should have been able to handle this on my own. But I did want Helen to see that I was taking this seriously, so I called the EAP. I even signed a form so they could let Helen know that I was following through.
The EAP got back to me and let me know that John was participating in counseling. That's all I wanted to know. It wasn't important for me to hear the specifics, and John's performance really did improve.
My job is important to me, but it's hard to focus on work when it feels like your whole life is falling apart. I'm glad Helen took the time to offer the EAP. You know, talking to a counselor for a few sessions got me through the worst of it, and I'm taking control of my life again.
Remember, your first step is to call the EAP. It really does work. By providing resources to help employees with personal challenges, we can make your job easier and your workplace more productive. It's good for you, good for your employees, and good for your organization.